We are on to the King Edward. And the betting is going along, as you can see. Next gen, lads. Who wants to take this one?
You go for it, mate. Do you want me to go? Okay, yeah, fine, because mine's actually been pulled out. But if I had to decide one here, Andrew, it's going to be Kyprios at 20-1 if he goes here. Was in the Lingfield Derby trial, was well back that day. I don't even remember. High Definition was scheduled to run, got pulled out, and the horse got absolutely hammered down in the betting for Aidan O'Brien. He's a brother to Falcon 8 and Search for a Song. I think he's going to stay all day. I think he'll enjoy the ground. I don't think the ground was right that day at Lingfield, and I think he's got a right chance. But Alan Kerr is going to be the interesting one. Obviously, the horse that beat 2021 Derby winner Adaya in the Sandown Classic trial. He's back out, and potentially, if that form holds up, he's going to be the one to beat here. But yeah, I'm going to give a little squeak to Kyprios for Aidan O'Brien at 20-1 in this.
Kyprios, are you going to side with him as well, Jack?
No, absolutely not.
Good.
Not ever.
It's what makes a good podcast. Argue the whole time.
Yeah, I think Selamarak's quite a good favourite here. I was really impressed with him last time out at Leopardstown. He came from the rear of the field quite nicely. He was fourth in a maiden last year, which has worked out quite well. I think 9-4. I think we're looking up there with Hollywood bets 5-2 even. Look at that, eh? I think that's a decent enough price. The last 18 winners have had more than one run this season. Alan Kerr's obviously only had the one. The Mediterranean, I'm not really too sure there. Your beer doesn't really want to win. The only one I'm going to give a mention to at a price is Bellocchio, who's 25-1, I think, 33-1 in places. I have to give him a mention. I had him up the last two twice, including in the classic trial. He wants to go further and further. I know he's got a good race in him. He beat Mohafef on debut last year. I think he's going to have a big race in him. Will it come here? I'm not too sure, but I'll be keeping an eye on him at 33s.
No, I'm going to go on the back of Jack there. I think Sir Lamlock is probably another one of the best favourites of the week. I think he's going to be miles better than a lot of these. His win at Dundalk, look, it was a comeback run. It was flawless. He won by handy. What was it? He won by a handy half length. He was doing nothing in front. His run then in the handicap at Leopardstown was so easy. He won so easily, and I think he's just going to keep progressing. I think he's going to take some beating in this. I just think he wins, plain and simple. I didn't even look at anything else. When I seen he was entered, I was like, that'll do for me.
Alan Kerr for me, William Haggis's horse. I really fancied the Tonian in the Sandown race that he won. I didn't know what to make of the race afterwards, but he only beat the Derby winner, and Lone Eagle has come out and won at Goodwood again for the lads to frank that form as well.
We're probably getting a free trip to Goodwood, all this plugging.
He didn't go to the Derby. I think he's a great bet. William Haggis.
I think it's between the top two at least.
Yeah, I just don't like any of Aidan's 3-year-old colts bar. Sir Mark's. St. Mark's.
Where are you going, Tom?
My nap of the week was going to run in this. It was going to be Baybridge. Put up an unbelievable time in the London Gold Cup. I'm absolutely devastated he's not running.
London have a Gold Cup?
It's a Haydock.
Oh, here we go.
London Gold Cup, yeah. Sandown is that, isn't it? I think.
Or Sandown could be, yeah. That was a really good performance.
Shame on you, Sandown.
You'll remember the colours.
Keep an eye out for Baybridge anyway. There's a big run in him. Sadly, it won't be here.
The colours are, you remember Dank, the filly that Sir Michael Stout had a couple of years ago? I think she won a Breeders' Cup. You'd know him if you saw him. They're like, there's a blue sash going across like a purpley kind of reddy kind of colour. You would know him.
It's a blue sash going across a purpley kind of reddy colour. So maroon.
The London Gold Cup is the Newbury, by the way.
It's more like maroon.
Newbury's the racecourse.
Sorry, Tom.
Newbury. It was a very good performance, won by 4 lengths anyway. It was only a handicap, but that was off 90. Look at that horse next time he runs. I am totally against Salamarak.
Get out.
Just on the basis that his form is absolute dirt. He's bolted up, but for me, he's beat the book says he's beat absolutely nothing as well. And for that reason, I just have to take him on. I said exactly the same and felt exactly the same about Bolshoi Ballet. I know he knocked him to himself, but I was very keen to take him on as well. keen to
But
take
yet,
this. lad on.
but yet you still put up love when her form is dirt.
Yeah, I'll take a chance on her though. I think there's a few in this to beat him. And the one I'm going to go with is Alan Kerr of
Kidding, Tom. Tom is just so shrewd on
You're-
this podcast.
You're getting
right now.
really, you're becoming real friends today. This is a breakthrough moment. This is like the breakthrough moment in therapy.
Tom is putting up winners left, right, and center. Tom will be. We'll be meeting Tom on Saturday, and me and Tom will have a lot of money, and you will not that much.
And it'll all go to shit when you start talking about politics.
No,
we're not doing that. Look, there's a
that's not
line
allowed.
drawn. We're not doing that. There's a fence bigger than Donald Trump's fence with Mexico built up between me and Dave when it comes
It's
to
a wall,
politics.
actually. But,
Technically, it's
Wall,
a fence.
yeah, it's
Technically,
kind of
it's a
as
fence.
well, yeah. It's a bit of
Honestly,
both.
See, look,
Any chance he
he's
mentions jump racing? Any chance he mentions a fence or anything? Just jump racing has to be included in everything that Tom says.
good man, Tom.
Basically, yeah. But this Alan Kerr, on the flip side of Sir Lamorak, this lad's form is rock solid. He's beaten the Derby winner last time out. He beat Yibir, who could reface up against him here, who was second in a listed race. The fourth one next time out. And I just think he's really solid, to be honest. I'm really keen on him. Sir Lucan was miles behind him. That's come out and won a listed race, beating Wordsworth, who could oppose him. Yeah, I think he's rock solid.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think Sam has to go with it.
Sam done. Sam went. Did you go, Sam?
Yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah.
See, tell me how to do my job.
It's just hard to remember.
Oh, imagine the Cheltenham Festival
Oh, it's
preview.
gonna-
Jesus
Ah,
Christ,
but
that was all over the place.
That'll be live this time.
Someone else is going to be doing.
Oh, MC.
I'm not doing MC that
Yeah,
night.
MC.
I'll be too drunk. Moving on. Commonwealth Cup. It's over 6 furlongs.
Love this race.
This it looks at. Oh, I can't wait till this fella wins. But who are you putting up?
Well, Andrew's putting up Diligent Harry. 'cause
Yeah,
he
I
has
am.
done
Come on, to Harry.
the last 8 times that he hasn't run.
I put him out the 4 times he won though.
Put up the wrong card.
I put up Dragon Symbol and I have Supremacy backed, and I can't split those
For
So-
second and third place.
No, I'm going to stick with both of those. I couldn't pick between the two of them. I think the thing that worries about me about Supremacy is his sire Memas went straight to stud after his 2-year-old career. So maybe his
Did he run already and have a very iffy run?
yeah, he was terrible, but he was terrible his first time out last year as well. His first ever run. I give him another chance, but I think Dragon Symbol is very good as well.
Diligent Hardy wins, lads. 11-1. Fill your boots with 11-1. He only ever beat once in his life, and that was by Rohan, who he should have beat. He was green as grass, and Rohan has gone on to beat Dragon Symbol last time out in the Sandy Lane. He's lucky. He has a turn of foot that is just breathtaking. Clive Cox, unbelievable trainer for him. Knows how to win this race, and I think he's way too big in the market at the price he is right now. So I am all over Diligent Harry for this. Tom, where are you going with it? Oh, sorry. Suiza is enhanced to 6-1 for this.
Very good.
That's actually meant to be 9-2, not 11-2, by the way. Boys, enhanced to 6-1 right now. Tom, where are you going?
Oh Lord, this isn't a race I'm getting too excited about now, and struggling to find a bit of a way into it. Really, Campanelle. If you miss the Wesley Ward, I think thinks she's the best horse to step on the planet. Dragon Symbol ran a nice race in second last time and up in class. Diligent Harry has looked a world beater on the all weather. It's tough. Suiza again has looked very good in France, but in weaker races, I wouldn't put it past her to step up at all. The one I'm going to throw at it is A Case of You for Aidan McGuinness. Just literally thrown a dart each way, very small stake. Was good for John McConnell last year, won a Group 3 for him. Was then bought by the Aidan McGuinness stable, won a Group 3 at Nace last time out. I just wouldn't rule out that horse to be an absolute superstar.
Sam?
Yeah, the enhancement on that Swayzer is really fascinating. The Shanti specialist, 4 runs, 4 wins, and 2 starts back. This horse actually beat You Better Believe It, who's only sort of 8-10 to 1 for the King's Stand. So I think that was 16 lengths that Swayzer put between that horse. So yeah, interesting there, and seems like this horse has plenty of ability. But it's not a race that I'm overly keen on, to be totally honest. But I do think that Campanelle for Wesley Ward, still lightly raced, and despite having a bruised heel and missing the prep run, I just think the last season's Queen Mary winner will have a decent shot here and get her ideal ground. And as long as that bruised heel hasn't sort of affected the horse too much, I think that she's going to run a really mighty race. But not a race I'd be wanting to touch, with plenty of unknowns with regards to supremacy and sort of a bruised heel for the American horse, and obviously the Shanti form for Swayzer, but nothing elsewhere. So a race I'm going to stay away from, but I'd probably be with Campanelle. But I know Jack has been raving on about supremacy for months and months. So do you want me to just let him start talking?
Sure, go on, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, a captain goes down with his ship, doesn't he? There's one bit of the best bit of the form in the race is the middle part last year. We got Lucky Vega there in 3rd or 4th, actually. I don't actually know, or 2nd. Don't really know. Finished behind anyway. Obviously, ran well in 2,000 guineas. We fancy him for St. James's. Supremacy last year, made all but in some style, kicked away in both the Richmond Stakes and in the Middle Park. As Dave said, he was too bad to be true last year on debut, and also this year at Ascot. So I'm hoping that it's not true and he'll be able to bounce back. Adam Kirby's picked him ahead of Diligent Harry, which I think is a very good sign. Hector Crouch on Diligent Harry instead. He's 17-2. It's a good each way price for me. Campanelle can't be having her after that break. Swayzer's form, again, not too sure how strong that is. And for me, a case of you won't like the ground. So for me, it's all about supremacy. And if he fires, he wins.
Confidence is key. Moving on. We're getting through these good enough. To the Coronation Stakes. Over the on-the-round course, we have another decent field, Tom. Load of winners, load of good prospects. 1 or 2 coming in here off the back of a bad run. Where are we siding with?
Again, tricky. Again, very tricky. Yeah, a lot of good fillies in here that have either run well, and as you say, Andrew, are coming on the back of a poor run or have just got touched off. The one I'm going to go with is a horse that didn't run very well last time, but I think you can make excuses for her. She was caught out wide. Didn't really get much of a run of the race. Got a little bump. It was her first start back anyway. That's pretty gorgeous.
Now me and Tom are friends.
2-year-old form is very, very good. And I thought she looked a really nice prospect. She's a big girl. I thought she'd grow into more of a 3-year-old. And I think she is one now. Would I put much money on it? No. But there's a small bit in me just thinks that she could light up Royal Ascot next week and go and put in a sparkling couple of lengths win performance.
Yeah, I'm just going to echo what Tom said there. She got a horror trip at the cord last time, stuck out wide the whole way. She was still on the bridle a furlong to furlong half, or 2 furlongs to a furlong and a half out. But she used up so much petrol staying out wide, got no cover whatsoever. As Tom said, her form of her Phillies Mile win was been franked by no end. Like, you have Mother Earth, you have Dubai Fountain has won since Snowfall has been in there. Indigo Girl, who you think is going to win a big race in France during the season, was behind her as well. Again, her price to me is very, very reasonable. And as Tom said, I think she could be absolutely burst onto the scene here. As Tom said, she's a big girl. She's going to come on for that run. There's nothing like a proper race to get properly fit. This is going to be a huge target for her this season, and I think she is going to be very, very hard to beat. Sam, where are you going in the Coronation Stakes?
Well, my bet of the week comes in this. And it's a really unorthodox one, but it's alcohol-free for Andrew Balding and ridden by Oisin Murphy. Now, We spoke to Oshin earlier in the week. That video's out tomorrow morning. Just thought I'd get the plug in there quick. But we had a good chat with him, and Oshin actually thinks that he's got one of the best books of rides, by the way, he's had at Royal Ascot for a long time. He was fairly bullish, lads, about what he's got. And Alcohol Free said was not 100% fit that day. There was something not quite right with the horse. And the horse, if you actually watch the Guinea's back, was travelling like the winner a long way out. There was no doubt about it. If I was watching that race and it was in play, you'd be fancying Alcohol Free all day long. I think the quick ground will suit. I think that the fast pace may suit this horse as well. I just think that Oshin's going to hold this horse up and come with a really, really strong run. But I think Alcohol Free's got plenty of ability. And I think if you can get sort of 8-1 and you like backing horses each way at that price, I think this is a cracking bet.
Would you be worried that she doesn't stay the mile properly?
Yeah, there is the worry there, but the quicker ground I think will suit the horse. I think it will be made to feel a little bit shorter. So there is that slight worry there, but Oshin seemed to say the horse wasn't 100% fit that day, and I just think that he seemed like the horse would get that mile that day, but the horse didn't quite get there. So as long as that horse is 100% fit, I've got no concerns at all.
You are kind of pulling faces there with Alcohol Free.
I don't think Alcohol Free stays. I would like seeing her in the jersey. I think she would have won the jersey on the Saturday. I understand where you're coming from with Pretty Gorgeous, but I can't understand the price of Shale in conjunction with the price of Pretty Gorgeous and some of the other horses. You talked about the Fillies Mile. Shale went off second favourite for the Fillies Mile last year. She does not like soft ground whatsoever. Her first run of the season, she was favourite in the Irish 1000 Guineas trial at Leopardstown. She didn't run all that badly. You'd expect her to come on. Donica's horses weren't in super form at the time. She's about 20-25-1. I think she's an absolutely outrageous price. She won the Moiglair Stud Stakes last year. She bet Pretty Gorgeous, then Pretty Gorgeous turned the form around. Her form is tied in so much with Pretty Gorgeous. I just think she's a mad price.
That is a big price for her when you consider the form in between them. Jack, yourself, what's going to go close in this?
Yeah, my nap of the meeting comes here as well, and I'm going against Sam. I don't think Alcohol Free will stay the mile, and it's Primo Baccio at 9-2. Now, she didn't have that great of a juvenile campaign, but ran really well in the Fred Darling behind Alcohol Free, finished fourth, didn't get the clearest of runs on the far side, but flew home and had the fastest finishing speed of the race. Then she vindicated how good that was at York in a listed company when Andrea Azzini got her into a lovely rhythm about midway through the race. She took it up and showed a rapid turn of foot. I think that's a Group 1 turn of foot that we saw there. I think a mile is perfect. I think she's spot on a miler, whereas I think Alcohol Free needs a 7. And I do think that if she settles, she has a tendency to break slowly and then be very keen early. She gave away 4 or 5 lengths at York and still hacked up. I think this is all about her. I think 9-2 is a ridiculous price. I think she's definitely the one to beat.
Look, at the worst, it's shaping up to be probably one of the best races of the week.
Good race.
Like, you have Snow Lantern Tron in there as well. If you forgive her last run, she'll have a huge chance. Even Henry's that they're throwing in a horse in here. So, look, it's looking to be a good race. Henners. Sorry. Yes,
Henners.
sorry. Henners.
We have a winner for that fourth.
Good man, Dave.
Wonder's Dream, is it?
Yeah.
So if you contact the Finishing Line Twitter again, is it?
Yeah, and what's the email?
I don't know.
For fuck's sake. The Finishing Line 2017@gmail.com.
And the last question is who won?
Make it a jumps race. Make it a jumps question.
Who won top jockey at Royal Ascot last year?
Barry Geraghty.
We've got it.
No.
Who was it? Wait a
Jim
minute.
Crowley.
I'm surprised you don't remember because I think we backed him going into the last day at like 12-1 or something.
Yeah, I remember that actually.
He was on all the good horses, all the Grade 1 winners. I had 3 of them back, then he let me down on one of them. But that's
Frankie?
Yeah, Frankie won. Yeah.
Oh,
Frankie won. He won a load of races on the Saturday.
Were you saying Jim Crowley?
was
Yeah, I
Jim
thought it
Crowley
was
not
Crowley.
close? Was he not the leading jockey going into the final
Jim
day?
Crowley.
Then?
Crowley was the leading jockey, but
Frankie.
Frankie ended up winning that in countback. Frankie had 3 winners on Saturday, I think. He won a Palace Pierre, he won an Alpine Star, and he won another one.
I'm back on seconds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Still people writing the wrong answer.
All you need to do is write down Frankie. the Tory.
First person to write
my
Frankie. Even if you're after winning already, first person to write Frankie, you could have 20 or free bet.